Well, that was easier than expected. Really wish they'd find me a real kaiju to give me a challenge.
Oh, don't you worry. I will be your next opponent.
I'm pretty sure I said a real kaiju. Then, didn't I already defeat you?
That was just a fluke. Prepare to feel my fury. Hiya!
I think you missed. Now, who's the king of the monsters?
Godzilla. Uncle.
Hey Rangers, welcome to Super Important Views. My name's Steve, and today we're going over some Bandai vinyl figures with Godzilla, Anguirus, and Rodan from the film Godzilla Final Wars. To my understanding, this guy is the stateside release. These two are the Japanese releases. Gonna be going over these guys for you today because we've been having a decent amount of requests for some more vinyl figures and some Final Wars figures, so figured go over these guys out of my collection. With us already having done the 8-inch tall version, but figured we do the smaller scaled cousin of that one. And sadly, I don't have the cards for these guys either anymore, but they just would have had these like little cards hanging off to the side of them. But anyways, let's get on to the review. So we'll go over the King of the Monsters himself first, which his overall color scheme is actually a very like dark brown color scheme with this cream color for the back here for his dorsal spines, a little bit of a hint of blue. But for the back here, it looks like they kind of were very liberal on the paint use on the back here. Like, he is literally just caked in cream. Like, it's kind of bad, to be honest. Like, it's kind of neat, too, though, because it kind of gives it the illusion like he's about to do his atomic blast, which I guess is a way to think about it. But I kind of wish they would have just been a little less liberal with their paint application on the back here. I think it just could have looked a little bit cleaner. But the head sculpt actually does look really nice on this guy, where I really like his orange eyes. Look really nice. And then you got bone coloring here for his teeth, look really good. And you can see his tongue on the inside of his mouth. Also has some detail on the roof of his mouth, which is really cool to see on these vinyl figures. Scaling looks very nice on his body, same with on the front portion of his chest. Biceps look really good, same with his lower section of his waist. His legs are actually kind of thin, but then again, the Final Wars Godzilla actually had a very thin pair of legs on him as well, so that actually works really well. Hands look very nice though. Right when you get to the tip of the hands, it loses a little bit of detail on there with the scaling kind of just tapering off. Does the same thing over on this hand as well, which is a little bit of a bummer. But the paint jobs on the nails are actually really nice. Same with on the toenails too, look really cool. Also very pointy, which is really nice too. And it just has a lot of nice detail and definition on his feet. On the bottom, you get some numbering and some copyright information. Also really like the dorsal spines on this guy too, though, where it actually shows up very nicely, especially on the back here too, where you got a lot of nice detail work here on the spines. On the center sections look really good. And what's also cool is actually the dorsal spines actually pretty much stay pretty hard and crisp throughout the entirety of the tail. Even once you get to the tip, it doesn't really taper off or kind of round out towards the end. It actually keeps a lot of the detail, which is really nice. For the tail, it's also pretty long on this guy, kind of like with the 8-inch tall version. I had a stupid long tail. The smaller scale version actually is very similar to that in regards. And the detail work on this guy is definitely one of the more impressive things on this figure, but the paint job, it's mainly just this, what they did with the dorsal spines here, and it just kind of sprayed out throughout the entirety of the figure here. Just kind of looks really sloppy overall, but then again, kind of works, and maybe just really need to have him posing with an atomic breath piece. That might be an option for this guy. But for his articulation, his head can rotate all the way around. Arms can move in and out, pretty much all the way to the back, all the way forward. Same with the other ones. His legs can do actually a really nice forward kick, and also pretty much go all the way around if you move the arm around. And then for his tail, can rotate a little bit side to side, but nothing too crazy. Alright, next we'll move on to Anguirus, which the Final Wars Anguirus is actually my least favorite Anguiruses out of the bunch, with my favorite being the 68, and then I still actually really like the Raids Again Anguirus too. Like, I think he looks cool and menacing. Well, that's not really knocking on this guy, because I still actually think he looks really cool. Especially with the figure here, though. Like, he has a really decent amount of detailing on the face here. Eyes are probably one of the best features about this, because the paint job on is really nice, where it's this more yellowing eyes with more red pupils towards the front. Looks really cool. And you got this bone coloring here for his teeth and for his horns and for the tusk, which are, I guess, the crest here, which actually is predominantly yellow, especially with on the back section here, which also really cool. Is I really like how like the horns kind of bended to a forward pattern towards the front. Looks really awesome. And there's just a lot of detail work there, like especially on the face here. We get a lot of wrinkling here, and it kind of has this Very nice snarling expression, like he's super upset. His neck is very thick with a lot of very nice detailing work here for the wrinkles. Undersection here has this very nice armored underbelly with the top section again. Got these really nice horns. And I also like how they got like a ton of detailing on these horns too, where you can see a lot of the lines on the bottom here. Looks really cool. Might have been nice if maybe they could add like a little bit more paint detail towards the bottom there, but I could totally understand why it doesn't. And then for his legs, look really nice too, where you got these little horn crests kind of sticking out on the sides here, and then some armor plating over the top of his, I guess I'm going to call it the bicep. And then you got his lower legs here, and then his little feet with some more yellow paint here for the claws. Looks really nice. Some detail work here on the padding on the bottom of his feet. Then for his back feet, which are a little bit odd looking, like they kind of go forward and then lift upwards, which is a little bit odd. It does the same thing over here on the other side too. Like it just kind of gives them more of like a webbed feet kind of appearance, but not gonna really knock it. But still pretty accurate from the movie, so can't really complain too much, but it's just kind of an odd design choice. But you also got some more armor plating here on the thigh, some more wrinkling effect here on the knee and the lower portion of the leg. His tail is actually really, really cool looking though. Like it's got this very like ankylosaurus kind of appearance to it with some little spikes here on the end on this more little hard bit. I kind of wish on this Anguirus though, he actually had like more of the horns kind of going out through his tail. Would have been really cool, but they kind of dropped that design on this figure here and on Anguirus actually in the movie too, which was kind of something very unique for him, where he just had a very spiky tail, which this kind of just looks more dinosaur in appearance, and it's just a little bit more boring for the kaiju, but still looks really nice on this figure here. And they also get his copyright information on the bottom of his tail here, and then some more wrinkling effects here for underneath his tail section. And then for his articulation, head can rotate all the way around. His feet can move forward and back. Same with on this side here, forward and back. And for his hind legs, can pretty much rotate all the way around, which is really cool. And then sadly, no articulation for his tail on the back. So with Anguirus, detail work's really awesome. I actually really like the paint job, and his articulation is really great, and he's overall, this guy is actually pretty impressive. And then finally we move on to Rodan, who actually looks a lot like the original. Well, I guess more like the original than the Heisei Rodan did, where he has this very bird-like beak and overall head appearance, and is in more of an upright pattern with some more armor plating on his chest here. And just overall, in terms of stance and kind of just like on an outline fashion, very reminiscent of the Showa Rodan. And for his head sculpt, looks really nice though. Like I really like the detail work here for his crest. His eyes are this very nice emerald green color. His beak looks really good, where it's kind of like a frosted black on the top here. Neck is very thick on this guy as well, and on the back here you get a little bit of like folded skin here, and then it kind of moves into his back section with a decent amount of detailing here with a short little stubby tail. Wings look really, really nice though. He also got his little hand here on the top here, some little armor plating here on the sides. Actually has a little bit of a bulge there, like pretty sure Rodan's been lifting. He's like, I'm Super Jack, welcome to the gun show. But for his wings, actually have a very rough texture, kind of something similar to granite or the way rock feels when you're putting your thumbs over it. Just kind of like the same with this figure. Not sure what I'm trying to get at. Anyway, it's rough. For his chest section here has some very nice armor plating here, which actually has a tan color scheme going over top of it, where the majority of Rodan's is very more reddish orange color scheme. And it has some very nice looking feet with some yellow here for the toenails, and copyright information on the bottom of his feet. Now, the only thing that really, really sucks for Rodan here is he essentially has no articulation, except for right here on the bottom of his feet. You can rotate these guys all the way around if you really want to. That's really it though, which sucks because his wings can't move, his head can't even move, and it's just kind of very lackluster in positioning. The other thing that sucks, at least for mine, is he doesn't like to stand at all. Like I've tried heating up his feet and bending them forward a little bit, but they always just kind of sit back into this more backwards position, so even just trying to fight with it, like, nope. Rotate his feet a little bit. Maybe. This time. Nope. Stop rotating. Stop it. Not cooperating, Rodan. Anyways, if you guys do decide to pick up this figure, recommend having a Tamashii Nation stand or having it propped up against something, because at least with mine, it's just doesn't seem to work out. So for some quick comparison, here we have them with some more Final Wars Godzilla figures with the 8-inch Bandai vinyl and the DX Godzilla 2004. And here they are, some more Final Wars vinyl figures with Gigan and Minya. And here they are, the NECA Godzilla 1954 and 2014. And here they are, some Kyoto Evangelion figures. Reviews coming soon. So over the Bandai vinyl Final Wars Godzilla figures, I actually still really like these figures overall, with my favorite probably being Anguirus, then Godzilla, and then Rodan. Because with Anguirus, definitely the one I have the least amount of complaints about, because the only thing that's really a little bit of a bummer on him is just a little bit more color variety would have been nice. But that's really it. Godzilla mainly is his dorsal spines could have had not as much paint job on him, but he still has a lot of very nice details and is probably the most articulated out of the guys. And with Rodan definitely being the least impressive out of the group. But still looks really nice standing on a shelf. So if you guys are looking for a little bit more affordable Final Wars Godzilla figures, then I definitely recommend you guys check out some Bandai vinyls. But what do you guys think? Do you guys own these Bandai vinyls? What Final Wars figures do you guys own? Or is Power Rangers just more your thing? Please let us know in the comments. A little closer picture of these guys on Facebook. You want to click the link in the description below. Help us defeat those kaijus by hitting that like button. Subscribe, become a Ranger today, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.